Hi, I'm Colton with Porsche Center Calgary, and here today with another lovely piece of pre-owned inventory. This one is a 2017 911 Turbo. Being a 911 Turbo, this is really where the 911 makes its transition from being a sports car into a supercar. The Turbo is really a whole different beast compared to the Carrera. I love a Carrera S. All those variants are phenomenal to drive, but they just aren't quite as extreme as the Turbo. As the name suggests, it's turbocharged, but actually as of 2017, all of the 911s, nearly all of the 911s, became turbocharged. However, the turbocharged Carrera has a very different character. That one really is, while being turbocharged, it was designed to feel more like a naturally aspirated engine, just with a little bit more torque. Whereas with the 911 Turbo, it has a more typical kind of turbo feel, where that turbo comes on very hard, very aggressively, and gives you just thoroughly outstanding acceleration and just really high speed performance. It's quite a unique thing. Visually, of course, they separate themselves being a little bit wider. You've got the big rear intakes on the turbos, give it away immediately, as well as a few other things that are slightly different. Different front bumper. You've got the wing on the back as well that goes up differently than the wing would go up on a Carrera. That's a little bit more subtle. This one's a little bit more intense, more downforce, more wing, more everything. So very cool. For 2017, the 911 changed a little bit. It became the 991.2. So I mentioned that meant turbocharging everything. It also meant a few other upgrades. For example, inside the screen, the PCM was changed, a little bit higher tech. Probably, honestly, my favorite iteration of the PCM in these 2017 through 2019 cars. It added Apple CarPlay, higher definition, and the ability to pinch to zoom and swipe, and some more kind of more intuitive controls that way. And of course, more power. This one has 540 horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque. Car and Driver tested it at a 2.6 second 0 to 60 run, which is insane. Obviously, as I was saying, supercar territory, and it's a pretty awesome thing. However, another unique thing about the 911 Turbo is it kind of has that Jekyll and Hyde, that dual character. You can drive it around just like a regular car if you want to, and then you can engage that Sport Plus mode and bring out more of that Mr. Hyde character, where it gets a little bit more wild and aggressive. More than a little bit. It's a big change. The car is quite a visceral, intense experience. Well, let's talk a little bit about this one in particular that I have with me here. So, starting with the outside, this is GT Silver Metallic, probably my personal favorite color. There's a lot of silvers. Silver's always good, hides scratches, and is kind of iconic with Porsche. Easy for resale down the road, all that stuff. But there's also been many different silvers through the years. Even in one model year, multiple different silvers can be available. To me, GT is the best one. It's quite a deep silver, and it really will pick up different lights around it and look differently depending kind of what's surrounding it. Looks awesome. And then these wheels, these are the 20-inch Sport Classic wheel. You get kind of that 5-spoke design, and then with this one, it was optioned to have, it would have been silver as standard, but option to be gloss black, which I think works quite well on the silver. I like silver wheels generally, but the black gives you just a little bit more contrast, makes the wheels really pop against the silver of the car. And then they went a little bit further with that concept and did the Sport Design side mirrors, which give you just kind of the sportier look, but did that, sorry, in gloss black as well, picking up again that element from the wheels, which looks really cool. Going around the outside, also you have the glass roof. You had a few different roofs available in this generation. This one has the glass roof, which does tilt as well as fully open, and you can either pull the sunshade across, not pull it, it's automatic, it's power, or open that up and just let light in without having to physically open up the roof itself. And adds more to that kind of black, because you get a little bit more black when you get the black roof. Headlights too, I should mention, are the LED PDLS, or Porsche Dynamic Lighting System, so the most kind of the highest upgrade that was available at the time. And they'll have auto high beams as well, so you can leave your high beams on. If it sees a car coming the other way, it'll automatically turn them off, so you're not dazzling that oncoming traffic. Really nice to have if you do late night driving. Around back, the rear wiper was optioned on this one as well. Don't see it too often on the 911s, but definitely handy if you're driving around in the rain or snow. Give you a little bit more rearward visibility. What else was on the outside of this one I wanted to mention? Oh, Something you can't really see is the aluminum look fuel filler cap. So I don't know if we have a photo of that for you or not, but the filler cap by default would just be a black plastic fuel filler cap like virtually every car has, but that option makes it, gives it that aluminum look, feels much more premium, and while some people may think, oh, well, that's a small, silly option, why would I bother? But you are, physically interacting with that part on a pretty regular basis. So if you're going to upgrade somewhere, I always recommend to clients, upgrade the stuff that you touch and physically can feel and really appreciate that upgrade. So it's a small thing, but every time you fill it up, you just feel that little bit more special. So I always like to see it. Let's move on to the inside. This one has the two-tone interior. The turbos, I should have maybe mentioned off the top, will have a little bit more standard equipment than the other 911 variants will. So they'll all have a full leather interior rather than maybe just the leather seats. The dashboard, upper, lower, the doors, everything will be leather wrapped. With this one, it's the two-tone black and Bordeaux leather. This was the first year of that Bordeaux leather as well. Prior to that, it was a bit of a brighter, more of a lipstick red. This is a little bit more muted. Frankly, I find it a little bit easier to live with. And a nice, again, kind of contrast. It's not just all black all the time, which we see so frequently. Nice to have something a little bit different. And then going with that Bordeaux leather, they optioned the Bordeaux seat belts as well. They would have been black by default, but nice to see the red belts matching the leather on the seats. Other stuff inside, this one will have the 14-way adjustable seat, so with that you gain the power thigh extension as well as 4-way lumbar support, and of course driver memory with that, passenger memory as well. It has the entry and drive, so you can just touch the door handle to unlock and turn the ignition switch inside without having to physically remove your key. And the key is worth mentioning on this one as well, because they ordered the painted key. So the key is kind of designed to represent the shape of a 911, and then you can paint it, which previous owner of this one did, in the GT Silver to just dial that up even further. Really cool, and again, that's something you're taking out and physically interacting with, and a little subtle touch, but it is very special and cool to see. What else did I want to mention? Oh, of course, the trim is carbon fiber, as well as the steering wheel. So the trim strip kind of in the middle of the dash all the way across, as well as carrying over onto the doors. And then the steering wheel is the heated multi-function steering wheel in carbon fiber. So you get that carbon rim, nice smooth texture to it. I always like to feel. And the full thing is heated as well. And the multi-function meaning you have the buttons on the steering wheel to control. You can change your radio station. You can obviously you can turn up the volume, the more basic stuff, but you also then have access to the what they call the TFT screen, where you can look at all kinds of different information, scroll through and look deeper into settings and sub-settings and all that without ever removing your hands from the steering wheel, which is pretty cool. I think that's about all of the content I wanted to talk about. There's a lot to it. This is a really nicely optioned car. I'm sure there's quite a bit that I am neglecting to mention as well. But what I will talk about before we wrap up here is firstly the mileage. Very minimal mileage on the car. It's only got about 13,000 kilometers. In fact, I think a little bit less than that. And it is a Porsche approved certified pre-owned vehicle, which means it's gone through our inspection and reconditioning process, which is performed by a Porsche certified technician, and only Porsche genuine parts are used. After it goes through that process, it comes with extra warranty. So this one will come with 2 years of comprehensive Porsche warranty, starting from the day you pick it up, with unlimited kilometers. Drive as much as you like, and you'll always have that coverage, which is valid throughout North America. If you drive it down into the US and need servicing, you can bring it there, and if there's a warranty item, it'll be covered down there as well. So that pretty well sums up what I wanted to talk about here. But yeah, really special car. It looks awesome and is a generation that particularly speaks to me. If it does you as well, do give us a call or pay us a visit to check it out, see it in person. When we're done here, we'll bring it upstairs so it'll be on display in our showroom. Thanks so much for watching.